enabling young people to reach their full potential through positive community experiences. Hello and thanks for joining us. I'm Laurel Hess, coming to you from the Frederick Meyer Gardens and Sculpture Park in Grand Rapids, and this is COMCAST Newsmakers. Joining me now is the Executive Director of the Boys and Girls Clubs of Grand Rapids, Rick Huisman. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Well, thank you so much for having me.
And you've been with the club as Executive Director for some time now, a little over 3 years, but you sort of got into that position with a little bit of an unusual route, if you will.
Yes, well, actually my path really started as as a member of the Kansas City Royals. I was in the major leagues of the Kansas City Royals back in 1995, and that was the first time that I was ever introduced to the Boys and Girls Clubs. Our left fielder, my best friend, Bip Roberts, he grew up in the Boys and Girls Clubs of San Diego, and we had the opportunity to go volunteer at the Boys and Girls Clubs in Kansas City. So while we were there, we had an opportunity to talk with some of the staff members and to really understand from another level where some of these kids might be if it wasn't for a place like the Boys and Girls Clubs. Was truly impactful in my life. And now, I mean, of course, after my fastball wasn't quite as fast and my wife became pregnant with our second child, I knew that baseball would come to an end. Got together with my family members, and I was part of a family business, but all during that time I volunteered at the Boys and Girls Clubs. And then a volunteer asked me to coffee and thought that I might make a good fit for this position, and here I am. So it has been an incredible 3.5 years being the Executive Director of this incredible organization.
And obviously in a community like Grand Rapids, folks think of it certainly as not an inner city, horribly impoverished community, but still a need for kids that may not have a whole lot of adult presence, especially after school. What exactly does the Boys and Girls Club, where does it fit here in West Michigan?
Yeah, great question. I will tell you, just growing up in the suburbs and that, I didn't know exactly what went on in our inner cities at all. And I'll be honest with you, my eyes opened up. I mean, strictly as being a volunteer, but at the Boys and Girls Clubs of Grand Rapids, we currently have 3 locations where we serve about 400 kids a day. We have over 3,300 members. We have grown dramatically in the last few years, which tells us there is a need in our inner city to be able to provide opportunities for success to many kids who don't have much opportunities going on in life. And we have done some great things, but ultimately we key around 5 core program areas, which involves character and leadership, healthy lifestyle skills, education, the arts, and sports and recreation. So every day our kids are coming in after school, they get their homework done, they go through our arts program. We have a music program that has dramatically changed lives. Of course, we have our sports and rec programs. We have basketball and football, we have soccer, but yeah, it's truly been amazing to see some of the transformation in many of our kids.
And I think most Boys and Girls Clubs across the state or across the country have partnerships, of course, with the public schools, but you're unique in that you have a partnership as well with the police department.
We sure do. I'll tell you what, there's currently 4,000 clubs serving more than 4 million kids around the country, but here in Grand Rapids, we are very unique. At each one of our locations, we have a police officer at the location. Now, many people would think that, well, it's for security, but it has everything to do with mentorships, connecting with our police officers and seeing them in a positive light, because unfortunately, let's face it, when we call the police, it's typically not for something good. And a lot of our kids have seen the police knocking on their doors or their neighbors' doors, but here at the Boys and Girls Clubs, they see our police officers in a positive light, and be able to have these types of relationships with the police officers is really, truly something special. And I give all the credit to Chief Rahinsky, I give all the credit to our leadership, and we hope to continue that partnership for many, many years, because I think we're proving that partnership is a huge factor in why our crime rate is at its lowest level.
All right, what a wonderful organization. Thank you so much for joining us today.
And thanks so much for having me.
For more information on today's topic, you can visit bgcgrandrapids.org. Today's COMCAST Newsmaker was Rick Huisman, the Executive Director of the Boys and Girls Clubs of Grand Rapids.